The Big Bang is an illusion. The universe is not created by the explosion. The universe is created by the evolution. The expansion of the universe is not from the initial force of the explosion. The expansion of the universe is from the multiplying process of the evolutions. The general relativity theory of gravity about large masses are bending the space towards the core, like dent on rubber sheet, to attract the small masses by the slopes. It's not the exact understanding of the masses, gravity. The process of making inclusion or attempting to make inclusion of the masses is gravity. Hi, this is Tiara Vishnu going to share my understanding about the evolutions here. What the Big Bang theory says, a tiny single particle had immense amount of heat and energy that exploded to create the universe along with some fundamental particles in it, and is keeping on expanding like stretching cloth along with formation of masses ranging from bosons to stars. This could not be true. Why? At first, if at all starts from scratch, it would start as simple, even though it would have emerged greater later. Second, literally, explosion means destructions, even though you get something out of it later. Third, life on the earth is evolved from microbes up to the human. So with the universe, it's all the evolution from the start, every time, everywhere. On first evolution, a single particle appeared. I call that particle as one for the understanding. On second evolution, the one self-powered to divide into two one, as right and left, without losing the bonding between them. They keep on multiplying like building blocks in all the directions, while splitting up into two. They shaped themselves as cube in order to occupy all the area without leaving any gaps on the bonding. Moreover, the cube shape enables piling up of themselves and sliding in between themselves. Take a sphere shape, for example. It necessitates something or at least nothing in between the curved gaps. Even if you arrive to some other shapes to fill up the gaps other than cubes, it would make difficult for them to slide between themselves. So, the only shape they could adopt is a cube shape. The piling up of worms seemed like a string of beads in all the direction. The worm were the everything. There was no nothing, even no nothing at all, other than worm. The multiplying of worm was a factor to the expansion of the universe. On third evolution, the multiplying process of the worm creates sliding between them. Subsequently, the frictions. That frictions combine few of the worms to create most particles, new particles here and there with different characters due to the different amount of frictions produced out of sliding. I call that particle as mass particle for the understanding. The mass particle was shaped into sphere due to the pressure from one outside. The sphere shape enabled the mass particle to pass in between the one. The mass particle consists millions of one inside. And fourth evolution, as the mass particles evolved from the one, they need more one for the living. So they started consuming the one from all that. That's when the first gravity started. Consuming ones alone wouldn't be sufficient. So a mass particle, by consuming the strings of one, moves towards other mass particle. And other mass particle moves towards this mass particle. After reaching both the mass particle, either stayed as separate particle, attaching themselves or combining into a new mass particle. Attached particle are double the size of combined particle, but both are the same mass, consume same amount of warmth. Like two persons each are eating half kg of food in 10 minutes. One person is eating 1 kg of food in 10 minutes. Combined particles are much denser and powerful in consuming more length and volume of strings of warmth than attached particle with the same size. I am mentioning here attaching and combining only for the understanding of the density of the masses, not the formation. Because lots of other processes are there for the formation of the masses. The conception always starts from the core through all the angles of the masses. More the dense, more the radius of the masses consumes, more the fast, more the length or strings of bond from all the angles. Becoming the larger the mass, consumes huge volume and great length of strings of bond from all the angles. The conception of the larger mass overpower the conception of the small mass. Hence, the small masses that are consuming the strings of bond nearby are attracted towards the larger mass. This making enclosure is the gravity, either by attracting or by gravity, either to attach as part of it or to consume, to make part of it. The gravity is the main fundamental to the formation and activities of the masses. Whether the stars are attracting planets, the planets are attaching other things, or the trees are breathing air and sucking water, the animals are eating the plants and other animals. Among the men, the gravity has taken many other dimensions. I can compare the bonding of one to the lovingness, gravity of the masses to the possessiveness. Anyway, the masses are not alone. They always have the one in them more than themselves. The one, is it a mass? Of course it is, as all the other masses are generated from them. The one also are the masses. Because if it's nothing, you can't just get anything out of zero unless you add or put something in it from outside. But even the vacuums are the one. So we are in compulsion to set the one as base or zero to find the difference to the other masses. We have been calling the one as space or nothing and going on searching for some fundamental particles in it. There are only tools in the universe. The first is the bomb. Even though in multiples, they are one. The second is the masses in plethora of dimensions. The general relativity of gravity. Large masses are bending the space towards the core like a dent on the rubber sheet. The small masses with motions revolving around in the slopes that was created by large masses dent. This is like the masses are floating on the surfaces. I just want to know how the surfaces is happening inside the space in one angle, not in multiple angles. Inside the space, like inside the water, the larger mass should attract the small masses from all the angles towards the core. To my understanding, the gravitational pulling and some self combinations make few of the masses to spin themselves. Take the solar system. The Sun, being the larger mass, consumes huge volume and a great length of strings of wire from all the angles. The Sun also rotates, so do the planets, all in one direction, assuming horizontally. The Venus retrograde rotation, I'll come later about that. Now focus on Sun rotation. Center as equator and top and bottom as poles. The Sun rotation along the equator, due to the maximum circumference, rotating circumference, drags huge volume and great length of strings, and towards the pole due to the minimum rotating circumferences gradually reduces the strings drag. Moreover, the conception by the masses always start from a single point, the core, through all the angles, and the rotation by the masses always from a straight line between the poles axis through one angle. So the Sun rotation aligns with string conceptions along the equator, and on the poles it tend to be in right angles. As the Sun is the gas ball, it freely rotates along the equator and gradually reducing its speed towards the poles due to the non-alignment from the conceptions. So strings dragging happens even more faster and longer along the equator. So if a planet comes or nearly forms along the poles, it would either be attracted or not. But when the planet comes or nearly forms along the equator, it will start to revolve. How? The strings of one conception by the Sun or power the conception of the planets. Hence, the planets consuming the strings of one are attracted towards the Sun. The sun rotation drags strings of warmth along the equator in huge volume and great length, like circulating webs of strings. That circulating strings drags the planet to the sun. So, the rotation and the consumption of the sun is really the factor making the planets to revolve around. But revolving speed of the planets differs to the sun rotation. Why? Due to the circulating speed of strings, the planets could not get hold of the same set of strings and are moved by series of circulating strings, like a touch and go brushing process. One volume of strings drags a little and go past the planet. Another volume of strings comes to drag. The strings dragging gets wider with the distance and diffused. So do the traveling speed of the planets. The closest planet's traveling speed will be greater than farthest planet from the sun. The sun rotation determines the traveling speed of the planets, not the self-motion. If the self-motion is a factor, the planets would have got their own speed randomly, not gradually, as it is happening in reality now, by the distance from the sun. The sun rotation also makes the planet to revolve around uniformly in circular form, a rather slight elliptical path. Either a star like Mars or the center of the galaxy, far on the aphelion side, should attract the planets a little away from the sun to make elliptical path. I said about circulation of strings. We can witness that in the spiraling pattern of the galaxies, that billions of stars are being carried by series of circulating strings due to the rotation and consumption by the center of the galaxy. Inside the galaxy, the multiplying of one are almost balanced out with the consumption of one. But outside the galaxy, the consumptions are very much limited. Hence, the distances between the galaxies are getting faster and faster. So is the expansion of the universe. The Venus retrograde rotation, the foreign object impact theory, could apply only to the Uranus odd rotation, not to the Venus retrograde rotation, because just an object impact could not make a planet all the way to flip upside down and straight exactly. To my understanding, the sun and all the planets were rotating in one direction, assuming anticlockwise. The sun, the sun, the planets were rotating in one direction, assuming anticlockwise. The planets were trapped in the strings to revolve around the sun. The touch and go brushing process of the strings are not only dragging the planets to the sun, they are also attempting to rotate the planets to the opposite direction clockwise. This attempt at first slow down the anti-clockwise rotation and then would start the clockwise rotation. This slowing down and opposite rotation would take billions of years to happen and would start from the closest planet from the sun due to the dragging strength of strings. But why Venus took the front before Mercury? Some cell combinations like atmosphere added to the slowing down. After slowing down to the stand, the Venus has got aligned with the strings dragging now slowly to the clockwise rotation. Anyway, the Venus will be gaining speed of clockwise rotation in the future, while all the planets will be slowing down of anti-clockwise rotation. The time will come for the Earth to witness the sunrise on the west. On fifth evolution, the age is set for the masses. All the masses have the beginning, the ending, and in between the both, they have the life. The ending is only for the masses, not for the characters it has gained along the line. Star explosions are meant of transmitting its characters to the other masses, even to the faraway galaxies. Likewise, the planet Earth has got all the things to transform into compatible place for the life to be about. The man is transmitting his characters to the other man before dying to transform towards onward evolution. So, the destruction of masses either by explosion or by degeneration are one more means of helping evolutions through transmitting and transforming. On sixth evolution, life is evolved on planet Earth. The varied characters from varied masses were transmitted to the Earth and settled in many dimensions like air, water, minerals, metals, chemicals, and so on. Some of the characters knew that it didn't belong here and were attempting to escape from the planet Earth. That escaping effort began the new form, the new dimension of masses that we call the life and have taken many formations and evolutions. The trees were attempting by growing taller. The animals by moving in searches of places to escape. The birds by flying. The men by adopting everything. We will discuss about this evolutions in detail another time, from microbes up to the human. So it saw the evolution from the start, every time. The explosion is only the part, sometime and somewhere. The Big Bang is an illusion. Before that, one more. The light particles are not traveling. They're traveling.